Hi, my name's Phil and I like talking about politics. Lovely. Number 10. Somewhere where Theresa May currently occupies and Jeremy Corbyn wants to occupy, and there's going to be a meeting between the two of them. So earlier on I talked about the impossible divisions within the Conservative cabinet over Brexit. One half say that they'll leave the cabinet if we leave with no deal. The other half have pretty much said that they would leave if we don't. The only thing that keeps both sides on board is Theresa May's withdrawal agreement, but Parliament aren't going for it. Now, Theresa May's government is like a dead man walking with just about 1 week left to live. So in a move clearly designed to ensure that Labour gets blood on its hands over Brexit, the Prime Minister announced today, after 7 hours of talks in Cabinet, that she wants to meet with Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader of the opposition, and agree a way forward for her withdrawal agreement so that we can get an extension up to May 22nd. She only wants that short extension so we do not have to participate in the European elections. Now, she said that any deal would have to incorporate her withdrawal agreement. Now, this is a given. The EU have already said they will not renegotiate the withdrawal agreement, and most MPs don't really need it renegotiating. The only ones who do are a minority in Parliament, namely the DUP and the ERG, and a handful of other hardline Brexiteers outside of those groups. Maybe 150 MPs in total are the only ones who will never, these 150 Brexiteers are the only ones who will never vote for Brexit. What other MPs object to is the political declaration in the main. Now, in fact, all the motions that Labour whipped to support in yesterday's vote would have accepted May's withdrawal agreement if she amended it to include the options debated, namely the Common Market 2.0 arrangement, a customs union, or a confirmatory vote. All of those are on the table for May and always have been. She could have gotten a deal through months ago if she agreed to one of those. And that's why I don't believe this is a genuine offer. She knows what it would take to get her deal through. She's always known, and she didn't do it because it risks splitting her party to get her agreement through with Labour votes when a large proportion of her own party are opposed to it. In addition, the DUP will withdraw their support for the government if Parliament passes any agreement with the backstop as it's written in it, and that backstop ain't moving. And that is exactly what would happen if she agreed to Labour's terms. So that would mean her government would lose the confidence of the House and a general election is certain. So unless she's already committed to a general election anyway, there is zero way she has any intention of allowing a Labour amendment to her agreement. She, in many ways, can't get her deal to be agreed. But if she's not wanting a general election, then this has to be 100% about getting Corbyn's fingerprints on the deal. If her party is going to go down, she needs to try and take Labour with her so that they can't profit from the fall. So I was very keen to see how Jeremy Corbyn would react. Would he behave like the Labour leader and whose official position, bear in mind, is a people's vote? Or would he behave as he usually does? Well, obviously he hasn't sat down with May yet, so we have to wait for that. We'll have to give him that time. But he did say that he'd be happy to meet the Prime Minister, of course, and he would ensure that plans for a customs union and protection of workers' rights were on the table. So what about that people's vote then, Jeremy? Any mention of that? No? All right then. So predictably, this move has enraged the Tory Brexiteers. Boris Johnson described it as entrusting the final handling of Brexit to Labour. Well, you did run away from involvement yourself there, Bojo. But therein lies another reason why this can't be genuine. Everything she's done has been to appease the hardline Brexiteers in her party, to actually agree to any Labour demands, even their minimum ones, which is the essence of compromise, a word that so many senior MPs have used so casually and yet never been in action. To do that would be to risk to split the party that she's chased away businesses from the country to avoid. So Jeremy Corbyn has to be very careful how he plays this. You know, as I say, it's not just Boris Johnson that's come out attacking Theresa May for making this offer. Jacob Rees-Mogg has as well. The hardline Brexiteers are cautioning against this in the strongest terms. So for Jeremy Corbyn, it's not simply enough for him to go along to the meeting and then come away from it saying, oh, she refused to budge on her red line still. You know, that's what he should have done originally when she made the offer. But this time that won't be enough. She's going to play it as Corbyn refusing to accept he is the smaller party and so should not get as big a piece of the Brexit pie. I'm not sure he's going to play it that smart. All May has to do is make Corbyn look as though he had the chance to avoid no deal, and she wins. Okay? Because, like I said earlier, I think she's not committed to no deal. She really wants her withdrawal agreement to go through. But she also knows that it probably is not going to go through. And if it doesn't, I think plan B is no deal. In that scenario, she just wants blame to fall on Labour as well. She just wants to convince people that he could have stopped no deal and didn't, just because of his own petty politics. She doesn't have to convince the country of this. She just has to convince enough people who might swing a seat or two in a few constituencies. Now, I know I'm biased in favour of another referendum, but if I were him, just from a tactical point of view, I'd just go in and insist on a confirmatory vote. That's it. That is the smallest condition he could possibly ask for. He is not, therefore, asking for the withdrawal agreement to be changed. It doesn't ask for the political declaration to be changed, which is what he's actually going to go and try and do. But it doesn't require that. It doesn't make any changes to her agreement at all. So what could she possibly object to? It's all still her agreement. All she has to do is ask the people, is this what you meant by leave the EU? That's it. The smallest condition you could possibly give. And as I say, yes, I want that outcome, but tactically speaking, that is something that there is no way she could pin any blame on him if that's all he asked for, if that was it. But of course, he wants Brexit as much as her hardliners, just not quite for the same reasons. So he won't do that, as he has pretty much already indicated. So I don't expect anything to come of this. And of course, who knows in this mad Brexit endgame? Anything is possible, except unicorns, of course. But I do fear that Theresa May is in a situation she can't lose from this point if she's going to take us out with no deal, if we don't get her agreement through. She's, you know, she's already in a bad situation. She just needs to make sure that Labour gets some blame for it as well. And then she could still end up with, after a general election, Parliament looking pretty much as it is now. Obviously, she wouldn't be Prime Minister, but her precious party could still be in government. So that's my reading of it. Let me know what you think below. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the like button. Subscribe for further content. Click the bell notification as well, please. And until next time, I'll see you later.